Yeah, I would like to welcome Ms. Nezbeda to this event, and we have had the pleasure last night already to listen to the German version of the European language portfolio. And I was personally, I chatted with Brigitte after the event, and we were so excited that we said, well, isn't that great? And should we not like tell everybody about this? And so I'm happy that I could email a couple of people saying, look guys, you have to hear this because it's an unusual approach. It is one that totally supports learner autonomy, an approach that might not be accepted by the industry for a while, but it will certainly make a big difference for the learners. And I'm happy that to introduce Magister Nezbeda, who has been actually instrumental in developing a language portfolio for the Austrian system. Yeah, and she will also explain a bit more about the different language portfolios out there. So I'm very happy. And could you, the participants, we have really quite a lot of participants today, could I ask you kindly to type in the text chat where you are from, where you're located, and whether you have anything professionally to do with European language portfolio. That means, are you a language teacher? Have you come across this principle? We'll come to the questions later on, but tell us in the text chat where you're from and how you professionally related to this event. Let us know. And then I'm happy to pass over to Magister Nezbeda from Austria and leave the floor to her. Rita is a German language teacher in Germany. Actually, Rita is very active in the Volkshochschul policy, we could call it. And I'm pretty sure she's come across the language European language portfolio discussion. Excellent. Coming in. I'll be off stage and I'll pass over to my...
Hello everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever. I can see that the whole world is connected here. It's wonderful. It's just amazing for me. I have never done a thing like that before. My premiere was yesterday, but that was much easier for me because I could do it in German, my mother tongue. So I'm from Vienna. I'm an Austrian school teacher, basically. I have been an ELP developer and have been engaged with the ELP, the European Language Portfolio, for over 7 years now. And my thanks go to the ECML, the European Center for Modern Languages, and in particular to Susanna Slivensky, who is also participating, as I could see, for giving their consent to use the PowerPoint presentation with the ECML layout. As you can imagine, I'm currently doing a project there. I'm the project coordinator of a project. You can see the address down on at the bottom of the slide. This is an ELP project, the European Language Portfolio project. It's called TT2 because there was a project, the mother project was TT, training teachers to use the European Language Portfolio. And now TT2 just stands for the follow-up. And we are going to other European countries, in fact ECML countries, and do teacher education there, to train teachers, to show teachers what they can actually do with the European Language Portfolio. Let me just give you a brief overview of what you can expect in the next, let's say, 40-45 minutes. First of all, I'd like to deal with the origin of the European Language Portfolio, which comes from the European Council, the Council of Europe. I'd like to tell you something about the key features of the European Language Portfolio. What is it good for? What can you do with it? And then concluding just a word about the status quo of ELP development within Europe and future challenges for the implementation. And then the last slide will give you a few links, ELP related links. You can always let me know if you don't understand something, if you want me to repeat something, if I'm going too fast or whatever, or if you have any questions. So please don't hesitate to type in your questions, and I will get back to you in the course of the presentation. There will also be 2 polls. We can do a little voting, so that the whole thing is a little bit more interactive. Now let's start with the Council of Europe and its aims. As you might know, or many of you will probably know, the Council of Europe was founded after the Second World War, in the aftermath of the Second World War in 1949, in a rather defensive mood, as David Little, the project coordinator of the mother project at the ECML, called it, against the Warsaw Pact. It's based in Strasbourg, in France, and has 47 member states at the moment. There's one more candidate to join, maybe, but this is still under revision. This is Belarus, I think. The aims are the basic aims of why the Council of Europe was founded was to defend human rights. It issued the Convention on Human Rights, to defend parliamentary democracy in the member states in Europe, and to see to it that the law really rules, the rule of law. The Council also issued a very important document, that was the Convention on Human Rights, as I have already mentioned, which also led to the abolishment of capital punishment. It also aimed to develop continent-wide agreements to standardize the social and legal practices in its member countries. And, of course, a very ideal value, to promote awareness of a European identity, which is based on shared values and cutting across the different cultures of Europe. That takes us to language learning. Languages play a key role in social cohesion, in the question of social cohesion and peace. Understanding each other means fewer conflicts, of course. So the Council of Europe has a language policy division, which is also based in Strasbourg, and it also has the ECML. I'll tell you something about the ECML later on. Now, the language policy division promotes lifelong autonomous language learning. The Council of Europe has always had a very, very strong commitment to education for European citizenship. And in order to educate its European citizens to take their lives into their own hands, lifelong learning is a key factor. And so it really stresses the importance of lifelong autonomous language learning. And it's also committed to plurilingualism and pluriculturalism, because it values the diversity, the linguistic and cultural diversity in Europe, e.g. also the minority languages. And that brings us to our first poll. Now, you can let me know, what do you think? How many European languages are there? You can choose among 5 answers. I'll begin the voting now, and please hit the button you think is the correct one, and we'll discuss it later on. Please, Heike,